Music business worldwide, they say it's going to be a long road for everybody to start seeing recovery in the live music industry. So we've talked about sports here on When I'm Not Podcasting. We've talked about, you know, when it comes to the movie theaters and being able to go and see things that are out there for people to enjoy live once again. Well, music, everything's been canceled. And to get the kind of packed crowds we have now could never be possible in the days of social distancing. So what's going to happen to those? Well, Ryan Jones actually reports on this, and he says this, that it's the multi-billion-dollar question on the lips of everyone who is on working in the business globally. Festivals, agencies, promoters deal with the fallout of losing a year's worth of income. Here's what we got. Many are working for booking shows for 2021. So they're not even thinking of 2020, thinking of next year. I mean, guess you have no choice, right? On the assumption that gigs and organized mass gatherings won't be able to stay safely take place until then. So when they do, there's reduced capacity gigs and festivals. Spain already has some venues that are able to open up at 30% capacity, and ticket holders having to provide proof of health. So whatever happens, the live industry is going to take a while to bounce back. So they went to some figures right now as to how bad things have gotten hurt for the live industry. PricewaterhouseCoopers, they said global live music turnover from tickets and sponsorship in 2019 was $27.9 billion. Look at how much money all these concerts and all these events and festivals make. In the UK, it rose 10% to a record high of 1.1 billion euros in 2018. So now we're seeing the first quarter of Live Nation, which runs most of the events around the country here in the United States. In the first 3 months, they fell 20% across the board. And quarterly revenues, they were down 24%. And there were still gigs going on. So we don't know what the second quarter looks like. It's going to look a lot worse. It's going to be dire. But the company expects to again get things back up by 2021 and beyond. So now the idea of reduced capacity shows could be something that could be done. Many across the business are expecting that to happen, but there are concerns about how much economic sense it would make. So Paradigm agent Rob Chalice says maybe a small venue can make sense of reduced capacity, but not a venue that's 500 to 5,000 people in a place. Here's the mathematics. If you take an average 1.5 to 2,000 cap venue place and average the ticket price, consider production, staffing, marketing costs usually account for at least 50% of the sales income. Most promoters that use medium or large venues have voiced this, and the venues themselves have said the same. Then you have to worry about the price for paying the artist, their team, insurance, ticketing, company fees, and promoter profit. In other words, a significantly reduced capacity show runs a higher risk of running into the red at a time when those who stand to earn can't afford to cover any level of loss. So again, people can't take any losses right now. So the liability of taking on a show, when everybody else gets paid, the venue's not going to get anything. And that's a big problem. You move along here now, festivals. They say are going to be extremely difficult to see how festivals can operate. Independent Festival CEO Paul Reed says that it will be extremely difficult. He also says they have incredibly tight margins to begin with, and costs such as infrastructure and artist fees are not going to adjust accordingly, which could immediately make it unfeasible to reduce capacity to allow for social distancing. It's also questionable delivery on an operational level. Festivals are quite sprawling environments, so it's quite different to how you manage a venue and one room. Maintaining and monitoring those conditions around a festival site will be extremely challenging. You're thinking about festivals, open seating, general admission for the most part. You know, when you're having festivals, again, hundreds of thousands up to 1 million people. There's no way to do that now. Nothing like a Woodstock, a Live Aid, a Coachella. You can't do that now. There's no way for it to be possible. So when you think about Summerfest in Milwaukee, and I think about all the concerts and amphitheaters around the country, you can't even do those right now. Those are all done. For the safety of everybody, they can't even do it. Nothing at that mass point for a while. And that's what's a big problem. Like, you know, I remember right now there's a big festival supposed to go on in Glastonbury in the summer in the UK. We're not doing that. People going to go club at Ibiza, things like that. That's all not going to happen right now. And then who knows what other festivals that are out there that people want to go to. Or think about the artists that are like up there in age, like the Rolling Stones. They're still touring, right? And all these different artists, they can't tour and make money what they would normally do. If it's not touring on their own, they can't even go to a festival and perform. If there's a big problem, they're all going to have this. Now, the story, they said there's going to be so many events trying to happen because people have been earning for the last few months. There's going to be a saturation point. Matt Bates says this in the story, that you do worry that there will be another wave of casualty in the live music industry. You're going to get to a stage where there is a lot happening, but not enough people to go around to support it all. So I don't know what you do. If you do super shows, you can't do virtual. It's not the same. Live music could be till next year. Festivals, the same thing. But that also goes for festivals like, down where I'm at, Sunfest, or just even different festivals like that, where there might be arts festivals, or there might be large scale events. That will be one of the biggest things that will take time to bring back. We already know that Broadway is not going to, it's going to be a while for coming back. And theme parks are just starting to come back now. So for entertainment, I mean, you might have theme parks to go to, but other than that, live events and festivals and things like that, that's going to probably take until next year. Something to be thought in mind. Something to think about.